Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
British Spy Stories Season 5 Kill or Be Killed. Episode 17. The front doorbell rings in Gabby's flat, and she looks through the security spy hole. Salvatore Albano is exactly on time for lunch. She opens the door and holds up a bottle of Veuve Clicquot Le Grand Dame Rosé 2008. "I thought you'd like champagne," he says, smiling. "You're right, I do." She produces 2 flutes, and they stand by the enormous neoclassical windows that dominate the living room of the flat that MI6 found for her as part of her life as Imogen Harwood. He doesn't let the cork fly off the bottle. He gently releases the pressure and flicks his eyes to her, but she ignores the show. They raise their glasses and drink a toast to life. Gabby turns to watch the traffic on Avenue Montaigne. "I said to you that I'd teach you more about crime, Salvatore. After our little encounter the other night, you need more experience before you embark on the illegal trading of secrets." She looks at him. "So, I've come up with a plan. A crime for us to commit." "I'm happy for you to teach me." He's flirty. "What's the crime?" "Have you heard of the Hexagon Ballard?" He shakes his head. "It's the French military HQ here in Paris. It contains numerous army departments." "Okay." "Each Wednesday at 10 o'clock, a security van drives from the Hexagon to 5 other military offices dotted around Paris. Those house various outlying departments. The van carries confidential material that they can't send by courier or in the post. There are 2 armed guards in the front of this van, and it has a bolted cage inside." "Sounds secure," he says. "It is, and we're going to hijack it." "What?" "I think you heard me." She is dead calm. No, that's not what I meant when I said I wanted more experience. I thought you'd teach me how to bribe civil servants or something." "If you're not up for it," she says, "now's the time to say that you don't have the balls." Gabby smiles and opens her eyes wider. Salvatore remains silent, and a knock comes on the door. "That'll be lunch," she says. A young woman brings in food and places it all on a round table in front of one of the floor-to-ceiling windows. "Thank you, Camille." The girl leaves, and the 2 of them sit. "Sole Morinaire," she says. "You said it was your favourite." After a mouthful of food, Salvatore looks more serious. "Tell me more about your plan." "The security van uses 3 different routes, but I happen to know that the route they will use next week includes one particular road," she begins. "It's an industrial road that goes past warehouses. We'll be waiting with a team of armed men." "Armed?" Salvatore is looking uncomfortable, and his face betrays a mix of concern and fear. "More for our protection than anything," says Gabby. "Clive Fremont will be there with us too. He's a tech whiz. You met him at the chateau. He has a piece of kit that blocks all radio waves, so the occupants won't be able to communicate, whether in 5G, UHF, VHF, or anything else. We'll bust the back doors and help ourselves to what's inside. Simple, really." He tries to look relaxed. "Won't we be seen?" he says. "We have a solution for that," says Gabby. "But you'll have to wait until the day to find out what that is. We'll attack the van next Wednesday." To let him think, Gabby avoids the topic of the crime for the rest of lunch, and diverts them with discussions about Paris, travel, and how Salvatore spends his money. After they have finished eating, they walk over to one of the 2 sofas in the room. "You don't look convinced about our plan," she says. "It seems like a high risk." "There is risk everywhere. But we can do it." She touches his hand. "It's to show you what you're getting into." He nods slowly, gradually coming to terms with the idea of properly breaking the law. "And I can be very persuasive." Gabby leans in and kisses him on the lips. Getting the telephone number for Eleanor Royce from Mikkel had been easy, but arranging to meet the woman has proven to be 10 times more difficult. Sabina is also annoyed at having to take a taxi ride across the city to see Eleanor. Normally people come to her at her office in the European Parliament, but apparently that was impossible. Sabina knows that's a lie. It's just a petty attempt to play hardball. The cab drops her on the Rue de la Vierge Noire, and she walks the 50 yards to the A L'Angolo restaurant, which commands the corner plot in this area of bustling shops and restaurants, caught between the cultural history of the Rue du Boucher and the retail palaces of the Rue Neuve. Sabina is shown upstairs to a table with semicircular gold and black chairs. Eleanor Royce is already here. The women are both wearing black suits and white shirts, and they could be sisters to a casual observer. Eleanor smiles as they shake hands. "Mikkel told me you'd be in touch. He's a weak man," says Sabina. "He can't be trusted to complete anything. I am more focused." A waitress approaches, and they order linguine ai gamberi and salmone al forno. "You're not going to get your documents, Miss Royce." Eleanor drinks from her wine glass. "That's a disappointment," she says. Sabina shrugs. "Nevertheless, it's how it is. Oh, apart from the defamation case against you, that I'll be reporting to the police. I'm sure you're aware that, unlike in your United Kingdom, defamation in Belgium is a criminal matter. You could go to prison." "What you see in Mikkel," says Eleanor, ignoring the woman's previous words. "Is he someone to protect? I'll let you walk away today, if you agree to destroy the tape and never contact us again," says Sabina. "That's my preference, as a criminal case would take my attention away from improving the lives of my constituents in Poland, and they're more in need of my time than you are." Sabina drinks a mouthful of wine, as it feels as though she has got her main points across succinctly and early in this conversation. "I'm not walking away," says Eleanor. Both women coincidentally pause, reviewing their next steps in this chess game. Sabina is the first to talk. "What do you want, Eleanor?" "The document." "Why?" "It's my job. Buying and selling. Buying and selling things that aren't for sale, though. Everything's for sale, Sabina. To quote the cliché, everything and everyone has a price. There's not a single MEP who wouldn't make a bit of cash on the side if they thought they could get away with it. Only because of people like you, Eleanor. You are the criminals, not us. The politicians you steal from are innocent parties in all this. The politicians that I do business with, you mean? There's no stealing involved. The documents are given voluntarily." Their food arrives, and they are both pleasant but superficial to the waiter. As he moves away, out of earshot, Eleanor says, "I consider the opposite to be true. The politicians are the criminals. You're the people who give away the state secrets for money. People like me are just trying to create investment opportunities. It's your greed versus our entrepreneurship." She bites into her linguine. After a moment she continues, "You're not the first person to react badly. after they've been found guilty of breaking the rules. I've been doing this for years. 3 of the people I've dealt with are behind bars, and 3 more no longer have a career. She leans towards the MEP. I'm not some amateur. Sabina, don't take me for a fool. Why that document particularly? Danish defence information, isn't it? Like any dealer. I have a buyer. They call the tune. So you're like the gangs who steal cars to order for high-end clients overseas somewhere, who aren't interested in how the vehicles are sourced, just as long as they get what they want. Humans have frailties, like you wanting to sleep with a married man. You knew it was wrong, but you still did it. That's not my responsibility, says Eleanor. You put yourself in this position. Go ahead and publish, says the MEP. My husband and I are nearly estranged. It's no loss to me, the same for Mikkel. I could add a financial incentive, Sabina. Make it worth your while. What do you earn, 120 grand? I could pay you a year's salary for that document. And you don't need to tell Mikkel either. He's probably got it on his laptop. I just need a copy. Eleanor looks at her watch. I need to go. I'll pay for lunch on my way out. Think about what I said. You could have the money, stay with Mikkel, there'd be no scandal, and no inquiries by your political party. She stands. You have my number. Call me within 48 hours, and I can get you the cash the next day. Lovely to meet you. She holds out her hand, and Sabina shakes it. Then Eleanor walks away, leaving the MEP with a mind full of thoughts. After going through the folder from Louis's flat for the 3rd time to see if she missed anything, Agent Loxby decides that her next step will be to go and see the chateau in France where her father died. After a tram journey across Brussels to the coldly functional Gare du Midi, she boards the TGV luxury service called the Inuit and takes her seat on the upper level. The train pulls out just after 10 in the morning, and there are 4 hours before she has to change in Lyon. She buys coffee and croissant from the onboard cafe, then watches the fields of the Grand Est region of France flash by the windows, before she shuts her eyes to doze. When she wakes, a man is sitting opposite her, who wasn't there when she fell asleep. He's about her age, with large blue eyes and blonde hair. I got on at Lille, he says in French, to answer an unspoken question. She explores his face through her still sleepy eyes, then raises her eyebrows in response, but says nothing. The man is reading a copy of Le Monde, and he drops his eyes back to the newspaper. They catch each other's gaze 15 minutes later. Going to Lyon? He says. Yes, she says quietly. On holiday? Business conference? Your French is good, he says in English. Haven't I seen you somewhere before? Is that your best pickup line? They smile at each other. No, really, I saw you in Brussels 2 nights ago. She can feel adrenaline push out into her bloodstream. You were walking in the rain, near the Sanctelets tram stop. I was behind you, and you grabbed a cab. Loxby's MI5 basic training at Imgin Barracks in Gloucestershire had been 4 weeks of intense activity and had included introductions to a huge range of topics that she needs to know about to do this job. One of the modules was about dealing with people. She had thought that it was a superfluous session when she saw it on the agenda for the 2nd Tuesday. But that part of the course had taught her more than any other. The instructor, a woman in her 50s, who'd been an MI5 field officer for 30 years, had dark hair with a severe fringe that highlighted her bright hazel eyes. The message from the module was that no one should be taken at face value, And that is part of the price you pay when you join the security services. Being effective in the job means assessing everyone and how genuine they are, all the time, for the rest of your life. "I'm Tice," he says. "Lara." She uses her cover name. "I'm going to Froissart," he says. "Do you know it?" She knows in that instant that this is a trap. As her mind spins, trying to think of escape routes, the only thing she can think of to say is, "No." "Where are you going then?" Her mind continues to search. "Lyon." "I'm staying in Lyon tonight. We could meet up," he says. She swears inside her head too many times, then wonders if she actually said any of the words out loud, and stops herself. But Tice is still calmly looking at her. "I'm meeting my friend," says Loxby. "She lives there." "Where does she live? I grew up in Lyon." "This is a trap. This is a trap." Her brain is stuck on repeat. "I don't know," she says. "She said she'd meet me at the station. She only moved there a month ago." Tice seems to be getting the message that they won't be meeting up, she thinks. There's half an hour before they arrive in Lyon Part 2 station, and he concentrates on his newspaper for the rest of the journey. After an announcement comes on the PA system to say that they're approaching Lyon, Loxby stands up and pulls her suitcase from the rack above her head. She flicks her eyes to him as she walks off down the corridor, but they don't say goodbye to each other. She walks to the exit door, and she can see the platforms rolling past outside. She waits, her whole body urging the train to stop. It seems to take forever to come to a halt, getting slower and slower, but never quite stopping, like the last minute of her mother's washing machine at home when she was a child. At last, everyone standing sways slightly as the train stops, and their bodies continue the momentum for a second. Loxby can feel sweat on her hand as she hovers one finger over the door button. Then it lights up. The tone sounds, and she pushes it hard, then again and again. The steel and glass door hisses in front of her, moves outwards, then slides along the side of the carriage. She jumps down onto the platform and starts to run immediately, dragging her suitcase behind her. Loxby is way out in front of anyone else alighting from the carriages. Her legs pound on the ground, and her breaths come short and sharp as she speeds towards the ticket gates. She reaches the gate line, pulls out her phone, and flicks to the electronic ticket. She holds the screen to the scanner, but nothing happens. She can feel her fear. She looks at the woman on the gate line. "Pouvez-vous m'aider?" Her voice is panicky. "You just do this." Tice's voice is right behind her. He takes her phone from her hand and pushes it onto the scanner. The gate opens, and he offers the device back to her. Loxby looks at him for a split second, takes the phone, and runs towards the platforms for her connection to Grenoble. She runs until she can run no more. Loxby steps up into the carriage and collapses down into a seat. There are 10 minutes before the train leaves. Every time someone clambers on board, she takes a furtive look between the rows of seat backs to see if it's Tice. Then the doors hiss shut. She breathes out and rubs her eyes as the stress starts to fall away from her body. Loxby watches the criss-crossing tracks at the mouth of the station as the train weaves its way through the metalwork to find the line that leads to Verpierre and on to Grenoble. Her phone hums on the table in front of her. It's a message from an unknown number. All it says is, "Nice to meet you, Agent Loxby."